Rooftop solar, battery storage, and waste are just some of the technologies City Power is looking into implementing. The power utility says any steps taken by the government to encourage self-generation will be beneficial.
Now we can basically enter into agreements with the IPPs who can supply electricity to City Power. Any easing of impediments towards self-generation by government, as announced, will ease the capacity constraints that we are currently facing and will also help us deal with load shedding challenges and be able to implement our future growth strategy of the city.
City Power says it's also looking into public-private partnerships to fund the new diversifications. Mangena says the use of new technologies will also reduce costs for customers.
As City Power, we've got a long-term plan to be able to be a player in the energy generation space, especially renewable energy, and this will help to reduce the price of electricity to consumers, especially because there are already private players who are proposing bankable ideas with cost below Eskom's charges, and this will also improve security of supply and also avoid things like load shedding.
The South African Power Producers Association says there are still changes that need to be made within existing power utilities and legislature first.
The current laws that govern municipalities and their ability to procure goods and services, including power, is very limited. And our members struggle regularly because every 3 years a new power purchase agreement has to be signed, with no certainty that it will be signed. So no investor is going to only look 3 years ahead and say, well, he's going to invest in a new type of generation or an existing technology, but a new plant, if he can only see 3 years ahead. Our problem stems in South Africa largely because Eskom's large fleet is unable to produce the power that's needed for the country. And that's the first thing that has to be fixed. It's equipment that's been paid for. It's equipment that's run very successfully for decades. And certainly it's old, but there's no reason why that same equipment can't be fixed properly.
Meanwhile, organized business say optionality is important for reliable supply.
I think that will be good for job creation, to be good for economic growth, and in the medium to long term it should also be positive for our credit rating as a country. South Africa cannot grow and create the jobs that we need without energy security, and we need to have an energy mix.
Earlier this week, the City of Johannesburg Mayor Jeff Makubo said he will be meeting with the Minister of Public Enterprises and Minister of Energy to discuss ways to upgrade electricity infrastructure. Nosipho Mncube, SABC News, Johannesburg.